This is the HF35C by Gigahertz solution. It's a directional radio frequency EMF meter, meaning whatever direction you point it in, it's going to give you a reading about how much radio frequency, a type of EMF radiation, it is reading. And today I want to give you kind of a brief overview of how to use it. So it's actually a pretty simple device. When you get it, you'll attach the antenna here and then snap it in right here at the top. It's a directional antenna with a shielded bottom, meaning you're going to want to point it at whatever you're trying to get a reading. If the radiation is coming underneath it, it's not going to give you an accurate reading. In general, you're always going to want to have this right over here set to peak. That's the readings that you're going to want to see. That's going to give you the highest reading that it's finding. If you have that RMS, that's going to give you real-time readings. It's not going to be helpful in most situations, so I'd keep that on peak. Over here, there's two power density settings. So if you're reading pretty low amounts of radiation in microwatts per meter squared, so under 200, you're going to want to have it here where it's going to give you more sensitive readings. If what you're reading, like this cell phone I have here, that pegged out over the 2000, if you're reading something that's giving off a high amount of radio frequency radiation, you're going to want to have this right here set to that up to 1,999 microwatts per meter squared. And essentially, anytime you want to get a reading of something, you're just going to point this at it. So I have a cell phone here, and I don't know if you can hear that, but that is pegging out the meter, meaning if you see just a 1 on it, that means that whatever it's reading is higher than the 2,000 microwatts per meter squared that this maxes out at. So you can see that if I just point it up towards the ceiling, point it back at the phone, up at the ceiling, back at the phone, how quickly it registers that radiation. There's a volume control right here. This is just going to control the volume output that you're hearing, essentially that kind of clicking noise when it's reading that radiation. If you're consistently seeing that 1 there where it's just pegging out the meter and you're not able to get a reading and you want to get a more accurate reading, you can get an attenuator for this. A 20 decibel attenuator that they make and sell specifically for this EMF meter. Essentially, you would just disconnect this antenna, you'd turn this off, disconnect this antenna, attach an attenuator there, turn this back on, keep it in that up to 1,999 microwatts per meter squared setting. And then what you would do is whatever number that you get on this, you'd essentially just add 2 zeros to it. So with that attenuator attached, if it said 500 here, that wouldn't actually be 500, that'd be 50,000 microwatts per meter squared of radiation. So if you're pointing this directly at a cell tower or a cell phone or a Wi-Fi antenna, and you need to know how much radiation it's emitting, if knowing that it's above that 2,000 microwatts per meter square, which is an enormous amount of radiation, if knowing that is enough and you want more accurate readings, you can get that attenuator. But that's the basics of how to use this meter. It's really, even though it looks like a complicated device, there's not very many settings and options. For the most part, you're going to want to keep this here in the peak reading. You're going to want to keep this probably in the up to 1,999. But if you want a little bit more sensitive readings of something that's not putting off very much radio frequency radiation, you can put that in the other setting, and there's the volume control. And that's pretty much it. It's really great at locating sources of radio frequency radiation. So from Wi-Fi routers, Bluetooth, baby monitors, cell towers, it'll give you a really good idea. You can essentially go into a room and just kind of move this on a swivel. And I don't know if you can hear that there, but as it's detecting the source of radiation, it's giving me really accurate readings of that. And then I can just follow that and find those sources of radiation. So it's great if you're wanting to check out a new home or property and you're curious about how much radiation is coming onto that property from various sources. It'll help you locate those and find those and potentially do something about it. So that's the HF35C by Gigahertz solution. It's one of my favorite radio frequency meters and a really good product.